Alright guys, we're in the new house, and if you've been following my channel, you know what that means. Simulator time. Alright, after many months of hard work, dedication, and persistence, we're in the new house finally, and with a little bit of luck for sure. If you've been following my channel, new house, you know what that means. Check this out. This is the setup, obviously not set up yet, but all of this pretty soon, hopefully within a couple days, is going to turn into a gorgeous, amazing racing simulator. Why don't I just walk you guys through everything I got, because I'm sure you'll have questions. So starting with the brains of the whole operation here, this is the PC. This is what I'll be running iRacing on. I'll probably be doing iRacing. This is a PowerSpec G902. I bought it from Micro Center. It is a pre-built, custom-built PC, pre-built PC. Came recommended by a few racing buddies of mine. I thought about building my own, but to be honest, I just figured, why not go with what they make there? Figured I couldn't do better. All right, so that's the PC. What next? Next is the cockpit. So the cockpit is obviously a very important part of this simulator. Sorry, you can't see it now. It's in a box. But I went with the Next Level Racing FGT Elite. This is important for a few reasons. One, it's a very rigid cockpit. I didn't want to skimp. I read a lot of reviews, and there's some concern of some cockpits flexing, especially with harder pedals. So I just wanted kind of the best of the best for everything, or closer to the best, not the very best. But in any case, I went with this one, FGT Elite. You can imagine what the F stands for, Formula GT. So it has the capability of being able to serve both Formula racing style and GT racing, which is a big plus for me since I see myself doing a little bit of both. I'll show you guys that in a future video, how you kind of set up both seating positions, but I really think that's a good, attractive option of this sim rig. This right here, right above, this is just the monitor stand. I think I had to get a separate monitor stand to make the monitor work, which, speaking of, I got the Samsung Odyssey G9. It's a 49-inch curved monitor. Check this puppy out. It looks like a stormtrooper. It is definitely the biggest monitor I've ever had. I am not a gamer by any means, so this is kind of like a little bit out of my league here, out of my comfort zone. I even set it up on my desk, and I started to get a little bit dizzy because of the curvature. I strongly hope that doesn't happen with the sim. I don't think it will, but trying to just do normal PC stuff or just normal computer stuff on that, yeah, not the best. All right, moving on to the seat. Pretty cool seat. Also a Next Level Racing seat. Should pair very nicely with the cockpit. This seat is great for Formula style driving and GT style driving. So basically, depending on how I set it up for the Formula style driving, I'll have it more tilted back like this, GT more upright. It's got a nice, almost like an Alcantara suede type pad, very thin. This material is plastic. It's not anything fancy. It doesn't look that great, to be honest, but the seat as a whole looks really nice, and most importantly, it's pretty comfortable. Feels good, hugs you nice, so super excited about that. It also came with seat belts. Some of you may be laughing. Why would you need seat belts in a racing sim? Well, I don't really know. I don't know if I'll use these. It may be a little bit gimmicky, but for professional drivers who really want to get the full immersive experience, you do kind of want to have that bolted into the seat feel, so your arms and shoulders aren't just given free rein to move, which would be the case in the race car. All right, moving on, let's do the pedals now. So the pedals, these are the Hoising Velt, or however the heck you say it, Hoising Velt Sprint Team Redline Edition. Again, this came recommended by a racing buddy. These are very high quality pedals. Pedals are one of the things that are arguably the most important thing in your sim cockpit. And I did not want to skimp on pedals, because the better pedal feel you have, the more realistic it is, just the more immersive experience, and hopefully the more consistent experience I will have. So can't wait to start using those pedals. And then finally, for the wheel, the steering wheel, and the wheel base, I went with the Fanatec or Fanatic. I still don't know how to say it. I've heard both. Podium, so the DD2 wheelbase, which is their highest powered, kind of top of the line wheelbase. And for those who don't know what that is, it's going to be what provides all the torque, all the force feedback through the wheel. Very sophisticated high-end machine. These boxes here make up everything for the steering wheel. So I went with the Fanatec I think it's the R300. It's a pretty universal wheel. It can be used, I think, for both GT and Formula driving. I think in the future, obviously, I'll upgrade wheels. I get a Formula car specific wheel, maybe some different ones. But for now, I didn't want to start off with having to buy two separate wheels for Formula and GT. So I went with this one, which seemed like a good option for both. And I think that is it. Those are all the products that I bought for the sim. I'm going to start setting it up right now. It's probably going to take me a while to do so. I'm pretty bad at just following instructions on like a setup piece of furniture. It's just my brain doesn't work very well doing that, so it tends to take me a long time. I can't wait though. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But if you're wondering why am I buying this sim, this is a purchase. This is something that I've been waiting for, really for years, but actually like planning and saving for and budgeting for many months. And a lot a big factor in waiting on this was to get this house so I could set it up and kind of have a dedicated space. Now that we have the house, I'm on this racing journey. I see this as kind of a necessary thing to get. It is not at all going to be treated as a game. I'm not a gamer. I can't remember the last time I played video games. It's just not for me. Probably when I was like 10 or 11. So this isn't a video game. This is definitely something for me to practice, get consistent, and really hone my racing skills, because let's face it, you can't get out on the racing track every week or even every month. So this is something to be able to do at night and on the weekends, and whenever I can find extra time to put in the practice. I think this is going to be super, super valuable in my racing journey. And this was no small purchase either. This cost me a lot of money. And the reason I kind of went high quality was because with these types of simulators, you can budget it out anywhere from, I think, maybe $1,000 to like many tens of thousands if you're starting to include motion and all super high quality stuff, like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't want to do either of those. I didn't want to go cheap because this is not a game for me. This is a very important piece of this 5-year plan and beyond to be able to support my lifestyle through professional driving. So I need something like this to be able to practice. And after racing school, it became very evident to me that I really need to put in repetitions and just get more seat time. After just 2 or 3 days in the race car at racing school, it kind of just scratches the surface. And looking back on my racing school footage, there's so much that I know that I did wrong and that I would love to just be able to go back out on track and work on, but I can't do that. With a simulator, I can do that, and I can continue to practice as much as I can, as my schedule will allow. So that's why I went. I didn't want to go too cheap, because again, it's not a game. But I didn't also obviously wasn't going to spend tens and tens of thousands of dollars on this, because that's just not realistic. I'm not there yet, and I didn't see adding motion to this platform as a necessity right now. A lot of professional drivers don't even have that. It's kind of overkill. So I kind of found a sweet spot for me, something that would work for my budget. And I didn't want to have to, after just a few months, feel like I needed to upgrade any components because they just weren't good enough. And of course, I didn't have the opportunity to try out a bunch of components, which would have been nice, from different price ranges, different brands and everything. But I did a lot of research, watched a ton of videos, read a ton of reviews, kind of did my homework, and this is the setup that I concluded was right for me in my budget, in my circumstances at this moment. But yeah, not a whole lot left to say other than I'm so excited to start using this and to really start practicing. Like, this is something that I think is going to be so crucial in my racing journey. I think it's going to give me the consistency. It's going to help me practice, obviously my lap times and practice focus around the track. Focus is so important. It's going to help me practice my awareness. I really want to get better at, when I make a mistake on one corner, I want to be able to remember that in my mind, continue to do well on every single other corner around the track, and then get back to that first corner and then make an adjustment to my driving. And I want to be able to do that at different corners around the track. And I just haven't built that muscle memory, that cognitive skill to be able to do that on track. And that's where I think this is going to really come into play. So yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, this isn't going to give you everything that the real car will give you, but there's so much to be able to learn and practice on a simulator. So yeah, stay tuned. Can't wait. Oh, also, if you have any questions about this, let me know. I'd love to answer questions. If you guys are getting into your own racing simulator setup, or if you have your own, or any tips, please let me know. Especially with the software too. Like, I plan to use iRacing for sure. Potentially Assetto Corsa, that's the other kind of big one. I'll probably just start with one, see how it goes. But yeah, if you know anything, if you know people, if you have any tips, advice, whatever, questions, let me know.